Back in my high school days, there was this one girl we had nicknamed Chester, and it wasn't because of her pedals. Hey folks, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to be working on race face Chester pedals. These are super popular pedals for a very good reason. They're very solid and they're very cost effective in my opinion. I mean, list price, they're about what, 45 or 50 bucks I think, and you could easily pick them up between 30 and 40 bucks if you look around. They do a great job. They are serviceable, but most people just ignore all pedals. They just completely neglect them. And the reality is, give these guys a little bit of loving once a year and they will last you a long time. So with that being said, let's get into the tools and parts needed for the job. Not many tools needed for this job. 6mm Allen with a 9mm socket. The nut on the axle is a 9mm nut. It's an odd size, but what are you going to do? With a ratchet handle to give you leverage, because sometimes that nut could be on there pretty tight depending on who last worked on it. What will also come in handy is any kind of tool that's flat and blunt so we can push out the bushing on the inside. As far as grease, do not use shock grease. No slick oleum, no slick honey. We have to use a much thicker grease. So I'm going to use the Crystal over here, but any grease that's thick, waterproof, heavy grease is going to work for this. I'm not going to use the rebuild kit. There is a rebuild kit. Just do a Google search for Race Face Chester Rebuild Kit, and I'm sure you're going to get like 1,000 hits as far as, sites that sell them. Well, that's pretty much it. So let's start working on these pedals. Before we open up the pedal, make sure to clean all the grease off of it because, man, that grease could get all over the place without you realizing it. So first we are going to take a 6mm Allen and we're going to take off this cap on the outside of the pedal. Just turn it counterclockwise until the whole thing comes out. All right. And then put it on the side. And then on the inside, there's another cap. And we're going to take our 6mm again, counterclockwise, and thread it completely out. This one's relatively deep. Okay, already there. And there we go. Put that on the side. Next, we want to remove the axle. And to do that, we are going to need a 6mm Allen and a long 9mm socket for that nut inside. So we have to hold on to that nut on the inside. And then we're going to use the Allen to unscrew it, right? So I have a 9mm socket, not exactly the most common socket here. I think they could have had a little bit more room and gone like either 8 or 10 or something like that. Now, the direction is going to be dependent on the pedal. So this is a right pedal. So in order to unlock it, I believe I got to go clockwise. Yes, for the right pedals clockwise, right? So I'm going to be turning it, hold it with the 9mm on this side and your Allen on this side. You're going to be turning the Allen forward. There we go. I think I just cracked it open. Yep, yes I did. Okay. Now, I don't need that anymore. We should be able to just lock out. Oh, that's pretty fresh actually. That's not too bad. Okay, and then on the other side is our nut. Make sure you leave the nut on the side. Now on the inside we have a bearing. We could take our Allen again, put it all the way through and just be careful with it and just give it a little push and the bearing will come out. We will check this in a minute. Now on the inside over here we have a bushing. We need to check it. You could remove that bushing. Now for that, you just need a tool with a flat edge or a blunt flat edge, right? Make sure it's not sharp. And all we're going to do is take a tool, whatever it is, could be your Allen key, or in this case, I have my pick. And I'm going to put on the edge of the bushing and just give it a good little push. There we go. And it should come out. And that is the bushing. On the axle, we have our seal. Be careful with this seal, right? We're going to inspect that after we clean it. And that's it. Now we clean. To clean, first I'm going to start off with the pedal. I'm just going to put some alcohol to break up some of that grease. Thin it up a little bit. Then I'm going to take a rag, start cleaning everything you see on the inside. Get rid of any old grease, although this grease in this pedal looks like it's in great condition. So, did I need to do this? Probably not. But it's okay. I'm sure my body will appreciate it. Okay. Now let's grab one and put it into like sort of like a cylinder, and then we're going to sort of tuck it in there, and we're going to try and push it out the other side. Okay, with this pick, although I think I bunched it up too much, let's try it like this. There we go. All right. Push that out the other side. Ooh, that cleaned it real well. Let's clean the threads on the inside over here. Okay. Punch it up, stick it in there real well. And then just keep on spinning it to try and get inside the threads and clean any dirt or anything like that. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm not going to record it. I'll be back when I'm done. Now we're going to clean the rest of the parts one by one. First, we'll start off with the axle. Let's take off this grease. Clean the seat real well. Make sure there's no dirt on it, so nothing is trapped when we go in there. Again, make sure the seat is cleaned real well. Okay, got it inside. Now the seal. Be careful with the seal. We're not going to rub it hard. What we're going to do is just try and wipe off any dirt and grease that's on it, especially on the inside in here. We don't want any dirt to get trapped in there, because then there'll be a leak and water will be able to get in, or moisture in general will be able to get in. Clean the inside. Right. Now we inspect it for tears. And I don't see any cracks. I don't see any tears. This thing's in good condition. Use a blunt tool. Don't use sharp tools on these things. Just make sure there's no dirt that could get trapped when we put everything back in. Okay. Sounds good. Clean our nut. Sounds good. Let's look at our bushing, clean it, and look at it. Now, they do have replacement kits. You could buy them. Bushing, bearing, and seal. So this way, if your bushing runs, great. This way, if your bushing wears out, we're going to look at it. We're going to look for wear on the inside. Clean the inside real well. And yeah, this thing's in great condition. I have no idea how old this pedal is, to be honest. So, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with this bushing. Leave that on the side. Let's clean the bearing. Okay. Clean the inside. And spin it. Oh yeah, this bearing is in great condition. What you can do is, yeah, this bearing's in great condition. So if your bearing is, well, grindy, then you could change it, basically. I cannot see, let me get my magnifying glass and see if I could get you guys the bearing number. It should be on there. I'll be back. Well, it's hard to tell, but I think it's a 686, and this version is a Z, which is basically the plate on the outside. So it's a 686 bearing from what I could tell. We'll put that on the side. Let's clean up the threads on these caps. Okay, grease on the inside. Make sure all this stuff's nice and clean. Yeah. Okay, and we will clean the outer cap. And we are done. Now we assemble everything. So if you're going to replace your parts, replace them now, right? You got your bushing, your bearing, your seal kit, so on and so forth, whatever parts are in the kit. I'm not going to replace everything. This is all in really good shape, actually. So to put it together, first we're going to start off with the bearing. Grab your 8mm socket. That'll come in handy, or anything that's wide enough the width of the bearing in order to help tuck it in. Now, this is optional. You could put it in without grease. I'm just going to take a little layer of thin grease on the outside, and I mean just a thin layer. We don't need to put a lot over here. This is to potentially stop or prevent any squeaks, okay, or creaks. And then we're going to put it in, right? And we're going to grab our 8mm and tuck it right to the base, just like that. Okay, and then with the bearing as well, you don't need to put any grease on the outside. I'm going to put just a little bit, like a thin layer. You do not need to put grease, that much grease. Okay, so don't overdo it. Now we're going to put this on the opposite side. We're going to insert it once again with our 8mm, just tuck it and press it all the way down. Okay, so then, again, super important to make sure that this seal is clean and there's no grit or dirt or pebbles or rocks on it or anything, no sand, nothing, right? Because this is our seal on the axle. Now, if you notice, it's sort of concave. This concave part is where the axle goes into, and it sits like that. Now, you can or you don't have to. I'm going to put a super thin layer of grease, okay, on the inside. The heavy grease is going to go on the outside. And this layer, well, is just to protect, just to help. We don't want too much on the outside, just like that, okay? Now, we're going to take a good amount of grease, and we're going to put it on the axle. I mean a good amount. Don't be afraid over here. Oops, did not want to do threads like that, but did what it did. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, since I put too much on the threads, clean off the threads. Okay. Just like that. Try and get it on this part over here, if you can see that clearly, because that is where the bearing sits. And we're going to want some on just a little bit, again, to protect the bearing. Be careful with the seal. Now we're going to take it, and we're going to put it all the way through, just like that. Tuck it all the way in. Next, we need to, well, put the nut onto that bolt in there, and that's actually pretty deep. Now, what you can do is try it with your socket and see if you can get it in. To make life a little bit easier, what you can do is sort of create like a spacer in there in order to have some pressure against that nut so it doesn't fall all the way in. There we go, that should be more than enough. All right, so just take some towel, just put them in there a bit, right? And the whole idea here is now we can put the nut and it won't sink all the way down, right? When we press it up against the bolt, it'll have pressure against it, which will help us screw it in. So we take it and let's see. Actually, we're doing it, this is the right pedal, we're doing it counterclockwise. There we go. And we are in. Now, let's get rid of the paper towel, put the pedal back in like that. And again, for the right pedal, we are turning counterclockwise. For the left pedal, it's going to be clockwise. Okay, we're going to take it, we're going to give it a good solid turn. Nice and solid. And there we go. Next, we're going to take our cap, the inner cap, thread them in by hand first. Oops, don't trap your glove. Okay, just be careful with it. Again, don't trap your glove. There we go. Be careful with them. Just do them lightly. And it is in. There we go. Just like that. Don't over torque them. Then we put our outer cap on. Again, put them by hand. Be careful. Snap it in. And then just slowly make sure you don't strip it. And again, don't over torque it. Just bring it down till it stops. Just like that. And our pedal is done. So one thing that's good to do is clean any grease off the outside over here, right? And because you don't want to attract grease to that seal, or dirt to grease on that seal. Now, when it goes to putting back in the bike, I always use anti-seize. I think anti-seize is a must for pedals because, well, I mean, I've come across some seized pedals and it's a pain in the butt to try and get out sometimes, okay? Now, one thing to note, that's the first one. This is the left one. Now, this is not good, if you can see this clearly. So whoever last serviced this, actually, I can't tell if this is torn off or if it's folded inside. You know what? Let's find out, out of curiosity. I was only going to do one pedal. I just happened to notice this now. So again, this is the left pedal. This is the cap. Take this out. Come on. Then we have the inner cap. Take this one out. Now I'm really curious. Now we're going to take our 8mm again, except this time we are going to go, or we're going to turn clockwise. We're not going to turn counterclockwise. The right one was counterclockwise. Oh, I'm wrong. There's the other way. There we go. Yep, so we're turning counterclockwise. I think I turned the other one. Man, I don't even remember. Okay. So now let's take a look at this cap. See what's going on. Yep, they had squished it in. They had squished it in is what they did. So it was never seating well. Now it's a little bit work, but hey, what are you going to do? Well, since we're here, like I said, I wasn't planning on showing this part. We'll service this one quick. Let's take out our bearing. Let's take out our bushing. There we go. Let's clean it all up. I'm going to clean it all up. I'm not going to record it. We'll put it back together. Well, if we look carefully, there is damage on this seal. So this part got chipped off over here, or is bent in. Hard to tell really. No, it's chipped off. And this part over here is torn. So that's not exactly a good thing. I don't have backups right now. I'm just going to put it together as is, and well, it is what it is for now. Maybe we'll get a seal kit for it down the road. All right, so let's put this back together. Again, I was only planning on doing one pedal, but we are where we are. So let's put a little bit of grease on the other bushing, take the other bushing, put it in with our thumb, use our socket, push it in, just like that. Grab our bearing, put a little coat of grease on it, push it in with our socket again. We're going to grab our axle, put a little bit of grease on the seat down here on the inside. And then, again, this is directional, right? The cone part goes towards the inside like that. You can't put it the other way because it won't sit all the way. So we put it in just like that. Then we're going to apply a good amount of grease on the axle. All right, try and get this part of the axle over here. Bottom, but not the threads. Okay. I know it's hard to tell with this clear grease, but I'm putting quite a bit on it. All right. Now, take the axle, stuff it all the way in, sticking out the other side. Now we are going to, again, I have that piece of paper in there. Grab our nut, hold the axle, hold the pedal, the nut in, and I believe this one is going to be the opposite direction. Yep. So the right pedal is counterclockwise. This pedal is clockwise. To put it in, I believe. If I'm forgetting. Grab our ratchet. Actually, grab our Allen. Nice and tight. Yep, not moving. we're doing good. In fact, I might be a little bit too tight here. Yeah, I'm definitely a little too tight. That is not moving as freely. Let's do that again. Something went awry. Okay. Again, we want a nice snug fit. Huh. You know what? That's probably because of the seals the seal is all warped. So this pedal's not going to turn as good. This seal's warped because it is warped without a doubt. I mean, I think it was folded inside, which is not good, right? So for now, we're just going to take this screw here, tuck it in, screw it in by hand. Make sure you don't strip it. Once it's in by hand, grab our 6mm. There we go. So it hits the base. There we go. I just hit the base. Snug tight. Grab the outer cap. Put this one in. Click the threads. Yeah. Be careful not to strip them. Why is this one being finicky? Nope, that's not good. Be careful not to strip them. Okay, that seems to be going in fine there. Yep, we're good. Bring them to the end. Snug, don't over tighten it. Clean the grease off the seal over here. And there you have it, folks. We just finished servicing Race Face Chester pedals. Super easy job. Again, stay on top of it. It's quick and easy. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to do this in no time flat. Just be careful when putting everything back together because as you saw, whoever last serviced the left pedal over here, they folded the seal inside the actual pedal when they put the axle in. Simple mistake. They never noticed it. I have no idea. I mean, there was dirt on the edge over here when I was cleaning it, but I think he got lucky. There wasn't no heavy dirt that went in there and did some, serious damage. The bearing seemed to work. The bushing looked okay. So, but without a doubt, it does not spin as freely as this one here, right? So it's a big difference, and that's because this bushing is warped. So, folks, if you like these videos, please do me a favor. Click that like button, man. Click that subscribe button to see more videos. Click that bell button, ding, 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 in order to get notified when new videos get released. And more videos like this are coming. Until then, I hope all's well with all of you, and we will be talking to you soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.